Welcome back to Myth Machines. On today's episode, we're going to be opening up our boxes or the box and the other box I have. We're going to be showing you what's inside and installing for this episode. As many know, I had the Holley carburetor, which I was borrowing from a friend. I had got it back to him. I had it for about a couple months now. Well, got it back to him, and now we're ready to put on what we got for it. So, first box here, completely unopened. Cracking peanuts. Look at this. And we got our phasable rotor. Rotor and a distributor. Why did I get a distributor and a phasable rotor? Well, to go with what we have to run for the fuel management system. We've got a 350 2-wire distributor. This is going to be our new setup. So we're going to take out our old one, or our vacuum mechanical, and we're going to put an electric one in there. Got a phasable rotor for it. This is the main box. This box So we got the FiTECH. This is going to be the 600 power outer. So this is the FiTECH power outer 600. Is what we're going to put instead of a carburetor. We're going with fuel injection. Throttle body injection. These are good up to our 600 horsepower. So this is the master kit. It comes with fuel pump, fuel filters, even fuel hose, the fuel injection carburetor, and all the wiring and everything, O2 sensor to hook it all up. So we had to buy an extra, so we had to buy the electric controlled distributor with a phasable rotor to convert it over to the FiTECH fuel injection carburetor. So we have the fuel injection carburetor as a fuel pump, 2 fuel filters, this one and this one here, and then all the electrical and fuel hoses on the underneath all this. Got my directions and everything I need. So now I got to read through everything and see about setting it all up. The fortunate part is I got to pull off my superchargers again so I get that new distributor in. So I'm going to pull off my superchargers, get the distributor and everything ready to install, and I'll be back once I'm ready to install everything to show you how it all goes. I'm going to read directions and get stuff apart. I'll be back in a little bit. Alrighty, so you see we got the superchargers off. Already swapped out my distributor. All to do that I did was put the engine top dead center, pulled out the old one, put in the new one, switched the rotors, and set it for where they said do 10 degrees top dead before top dead center. That's what I got all set for. And then I doing the bottom bolts on my supercharger here. They end up being stripped out. So I had a helicoil drill and helicoil the bottoms. So that's all fixed and it's all ready to go back together. So we're gonna slap the turbo supercharger and everything back on real quick. Alrighty, so after I reviewed, I opened up the box, checked everything out. After I finished that, I realized I was missing something. I didn't go through in the box opening, which was the handheld computer for the controller. The handheld controller. So this computer screen tells you what everything needs, what it all does. Very important. So I had to get a new one of those. So I had to call FiTECH, get it warranted, got a new one sent out to me. So I got that. I'm also trying out a new camera now. So this is why more like a selfie kind of deal. But anyways, on to what I'm doing. As I'm installing it today. So we're going to be installing the FiTECH throttle body injection. Now, so it comes in all the wiring, all the computer, everything's inside of it, so I don't have to worry about any of that. For wiring, now I gotta add the few that go to I have to add what I need to add inside the cab that comes out. And I have to add my coil, which I'm going to be putting down here. I think. Maybe over here. So I'll reach over here. Yeah, so I'm probably going to put my coil over here. And then I got to cut this wire because mine sits a lot higher than a normal 350, so it doesn't reach the coolant plug down here. So I'm going to splice the wire, and I'm going to solder back up together. I have some heat shrink and some more of this here, make it look nice and like it was factory. And then this side, my main power for everything is going to come back here. To wrap around the back there, have little soft clamps that hold it up there. We're going to come down here with this wiring, and then fuse boxes, little external fuse I have here is going to mount up here. This plug goes back to my oxygen sensor that I already have installed. And then after that, it's removing my old fuel pump. Bracket ready to be mounted for that. So it's really difficult to get my camera down there. Show you, so once I get that on there, I'll show you. And then I'll be running all the fuel lineup. That, and then pretty much cable's gonna stay the same. Just gonna bolt here, bolt up here, run my return spring there, which really doesn't need it, but
It's got plenty of spring there. Nothing needs that, I'll put that there. So not changing a whole lot. I have to modify the one wire so far. I might have to modify or extend my oxygen sensor plug. I don't know if that's going to reach all the way down where it needs to go to. And then it's just running wires and everything else. Run a few wires I need to run for the last few things I need to plug in. So I need to run wires for my fuel pump. Let's go here, run along. Let's go down and run along with my other wires we got here, which is for my fuel pump. Not fuel pump, my fuel gauge and taillights. Yeah, so that's what I got to do. So that's just a little overview of what I have to do. So I'm gonna put it all together, give you little updates here and there, and go from there. So I'll be back in probably 10-20 minutes, and then for you, next clip. So here we go. Alrighty, so back, got all put together. I'll show you here. Got it all installed, all put in. So install it. I had to run another fuel line because this required a return line with this setup. So I'm using the inline fuel pump. So I delete the old mechanical one, put the electrical one, which is all controlled by the computer and everything in there. I had to install a little extra fuse box that comes with that. Wired all into here, so you all wired in, everything's all nice covered. All wiring back there, just gotta zip it up and tighten it up a little more. Yeah, so I used my old fuel line, and then I ran the hose all the way back to my fuel pump. I had to put my new distributor, just a basic 2-wire in there. And that took out the top module for the, had to put in the coil, secondary coil, which wired into the carburetor also. And then for my coolant sensor, unfortunately it wasn't long enough. It originally only reached like down here. So I had extended out a few more inches. So now I have it running along the firewall and down there like the old original one did when it ran out of the firewall. So it's a little close to my headers, which I really don't like, but I don't think I could do anything different with that unless I find a whole new spot for it to go to. So that's where that's at now. Hopefully, I haven't ran it for too long yet, but definitely check to make sure it's not going to melt that. And then also I had to extend out the plug that came with it on, because it's all hardwired into the throttle body. So I had to also extend out a few inches of my oxygen sensor. So I had to pull that apart, cut the end off of it, solder on a few inches of it. So that's all set up. So I have 2 extra wires that I'm not using. The blue one isn't used for my application, and then the yellow wire is for the fan, which I'm not using. And then I have the secondary plug though, which I'm also not using, because this is for nitrous and another fan, which I already have my fan set up to my switch inside along with my water pump, so that's not going to be controlled by my throttle body. And that means coming inside. Alright, so inside I no longer have my air fuel ratio. I still have my boost gauge, that's still hooked up. I no longer have my temp gauge in here either. That's all now on my display here. Which here I could turn on. There we go. So this is my little controller here. From here I can make my gauges. Now you see the RPM and everything. Map, boost. Which shouldn't be reading any boost, but FR gauge, the target. Notify tuning. Everything I have it set it to for now. So everything's manual. It's physically installed. So now what I have to do is run it, let it run, drive it around a little bit, let it learn itself, and get all that figured out. But for right now, give her a little start. And she runs. It isn't fully tuned in yet, so it's not going to stay running. I also need to top off the water because I changed the plug. It lost a lot of water. So all that's left is the tuning of it, and which is all done by the carburetor, by the throttle body. Alright, so I'll crawl underneath real quick, show you the... Still got to zip tie my filter up here, so it stays up there in the corner. Oh, that just... Well, you see, fuel pump's right there. You got 2 bolts in it, had to drill a hole in the bottom of the frame. Got wires and everything. This is my old fuel line here. It goes up here. And that all goes up top, which I had to drill another hole in my tank because it only has a 1 output. So I had to make a inlet for it, which I also need to make another one for a breather so it's not pressurizing the tank. Or over pressurizes it as it's running. And then I had to put the oxygen sensor, but that's back where the original one was. And like I said, I had to extend out the wire now. So I did on the oxygen sensor. For that, yeah, that's everything I had to do. It looks like my transmission's leaking now. Just gotta paint that bracket, but so yeah, that's everything installed. That's everything up and running. Just gotta let it do its heat cycle, get it all up and tuned in through itself, and it'll be rolling pretty good. There you go, that's the right one, right? Might have a miss. Damn bushes. Go catch fire somewhere else. Smells like dirt, actually. Strange. But for now, this is where I'm going to be ending the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let's see how well our new camera turned out, as long as with the sound it makes. Or records, I should say. Now with that, thank you for watching. And if you'd be so kind to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the next video. I know this one took a while to make, but with weather and everything else, it was a little difficult to get her done. Oh. And then, well, how long did it actually take me to do? I'd say it take about a day and a half to actually install it. So it took about a day to actually install it, which really isn't that bad. Maybe 2, but I wasn't going fast, and then it was very cold and miserable. I'm doing it here under the tree. When it got cold out, you didn't want to work on it. Yeah, so again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you always be so kind to like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy the video. And there'll be more to come. I'm pretty much finishing up here with the panel here, so I'll be getting back to my Cougar here in a minute. And hopefully get that one up and running. Well, here's my brother. And thank you for watching. Until the next one.